quem não me conhece, eu sou a Letícia e você está na Romir Playhouse. Hoje o papai vai fazer uma entrevista com o Roberto Fraga. Pra quem não sabe quem ele é o autor desse jogo aqui, Dança dos Ovos. Ele é o autor desse jogo aqui, Waka. E ele é o autor desse jogo aqui, River Dragon. Ele também é o autor do Dr. Eureka e vários outros jogos legais. Ele vai falar sobre os jogos e os lançamentos. Vamos assistir?
Okay, so Roberto, first of all, thanks for your time for this interview, for Brazil. And the first thing that I really like to know is, I know that you have lots of different jobs in your life before you became a game designer. We spoke about it during the last Diversão offline here in Brazil. And can you tell us about your previous life before you became then a game designer?
Okay, so I am designing games from when I was 14. So as I have 60 now, it's from 46 years. So a long time.
Uh-huh.
At the beginning, it was just a hobby, and the hobby has increased, but quietly. And I had different jobs. I was what's the name? Drawer of maps.
Uh-huh.
With architects. Yes. I was a delivery driver with driving trucks. I have worked on a railway company in France also. I was also a seller of fire extinguishing equipment, which is totally different. I was also a sailor on a military boat, on an aircraft carrier, and I was working on the bridge. I was a radio operator, so that sounds very close to Capitão Sonar.
Uh-huh.
In Capitão Sonar, there is a radio operator, and all the jobs I had, they have some connection with the games, because all the things you do in your life help you to create game. It's a lot of information you have in your head. And after that, I was also diver.
Yeah.
I was also a sailor on the French cruise ship.
Whoa!
During yes, I was a merchant navy officer, fishing police officer, and the last one was a captain of a coast guard boat in France.
Whoa! The man with 1,000 jobs.
Yes, but finally I am happy about all that, because it's in your life, when you have done a lot of things like that, it's a lot of experience, and you have a life full of a lot of souvenirs, experiences, and you need all that to create games, all these informations. So you know a game which name is Spinderella, Fila Filo, with a spider. So the idea of the spider just comes from I was on my bed, and suddenly I have seen a spider going down from the ceiling vertically. So the idea comes from there to do a spider game. But the system of the spider with the magnets is like a crane. You know, a crane.
Yeah.
And when you are building a house, and I have worked on building houses also using cranes. So all is connected.
Yes.
I have used my work when I was on the military navy to start the ideas of Capitão Sonar. Spider was also connected with my jobs in when I was working on the construction. So all is connected. So during all these years, I have designed games. At the beginning, it was just for fun. And in '92, I have started to visit the fairs as Essen on Nuremberg. So if there was a fair this year, it was from '92, 28 years.
Yeah.
Yes, 28 years at the fair. Wow. So we know perfectly the fair. We have seen all the evolution of the publishers, the internationalization of the fair of Essen and Nuremberg, and the hobby has increased and increased and increased. And the first game published was in 2000. It was River Dragons in his old version, which name was Dragon Delta. After that, the game has been republished by Matago, and his name is River Dragons. And from 2000 to now, we have
this one here.
Dragon Delta.
From Eurogames.
Yes, yes, that reminds a lot of souvenirs because it's the first one. So I have a great connection with the first game published. Maybe it's my favorite because it's the first one, and I have developed it with my daughters. They was young, and they have tested a lot. They have seen all the evolution of the game until the published game. So my daughters, they have seen it's not so easy to publish, to do a game and to publish it, because the last version published was the version number 14.
Wow!
Yeah. So, and now from 2000 we have published more than 130 games all around the world. Of course, all these games are not yet on the market. Some of them are stopped, etc. Maybe we have 30 or 40 games always sold on the market in all the world. And we are on 10 years before, in December 2010, I have decided to definitively leave from the customs, from the Coast Guard service, to work only on games. I have do it because it was possible about financial with the financial possibilities, because you need money, of course, it's logical. So as we at this moment we have a lot of published games, it was possible to work only publishing creating games. So now from 10 years I am only working designing games, and it's fine because the most important thing in your life is to be free, to do what you want, to be your own boss, to be responsible of the success and the opposite also of the. So and it's very nice. And as you see, I have built a new office, which name is a Fraga Lab. So all is perfect now. It's a kind of new time for design games because before it was totally chaotic in a very small room. So there is a moment when you have equipment from 40 years designing games. You know what's happened. You have a pile of you need to clear, to organize something better. So
very nice, very nice. But I know that you have a very big game collection also. I saw a picture from your game collection with over 700 different games in your game collection. Yeah, so you always liked board games. Yeah, which are the board games that you can recommend for the people, not from your own creation but for your collection?
But there is something special. The games you have seen on the pictures, some of them are my games, of my own collection, but we have in the place where we live in Saint-Malo in France, which is we are on the coast of the Channel coast, very close from England, and we have an association which name is the Corsair Ludique, and we organize game events and a lot of crazy things. But if I start to speak about that, it will take too many times, so we'll stay on the design. So a part of this collection are the games from the association also. But finally, I like to play games, but not so much, not as all the players. My favorite activity is to create games. When I have to start from the idea suddenly and to try to develop it, to arrive to do something crazy, original. But after, when the game is published, of course I show the game to the public, etc. But I prefer to design it. And many years before, I have played to a lot of other games, and I have discovered I was too much influenced by by the ideas of the other designers. And I want to be totally, I don't want to follow ways, to follow styles of games. Many times the people, they say, okay, Roberto, now actually this type of game is very common, you could do something like that. I say to them, no, I don't want to do that, I want to do what I want, and I don't like to follow, I just want to create my own way, not to follow the other ones. And the problem is when you play to a lot of games from other designers, which are very good also, but you have a lot of influences, and it's difficult to
shift,
to do things very original. So from some years I have decided to play not so much. Of course I play too many games, I like to very much, of course I like the original ideas. Many times when I see all the new games which are arriving on the market, and you know there are more than 1,000 every year, so a lot of them, they have a lot of things which are very similar. Finally, the originality, the concept of originality is not the same one for each people. Maybe from one game designer, the originality will be only to find a new way to count the points. Okay, if we have some the workers in line and I like that, okay, we will double the points, etc. But for me, the originality is to do something original. You have never seen something like that. But there is a problem, because when I show the games to the publishers, many times they are afraid. So it's more because finally the people, the editors, the consumers, they don't like too much originality. They are afraid of too much originality. I would want to have a world which moves faster. But finally, it's not possible. You need to do something original, but not too much. All the crazy ideas I had in the past, it was too much. So it was really difficult, and I have a lot of ideas which are there. Maybe in the future I will present it again, but it's difficult to slow down your originality. To be, I do original things, but for me it's not sufficient. So the originality is different following the game designers. And there is, for example, Villa Paletti. It's which has won the SPIEL.digital. I don't remember when.
It's
but
2001, I think.
Yes. For me, it's a really original game because it's a piling game, but with a new concept. And we have the giant version. And we have already played with the giant one, and when we finish the giant one, we start on the top of the giant with a smaller one. We need a ladder to put the pieces. And I like very much this one because it's very visual, it's a very quiet game, and there is a kind of tension during the game which increase until you place you take on the back and you place on the top. So it's a really good idea. And I know the story of the game designer, which was a Canadian, which was a cook. So this kind of games, Magic Maze also, because it's the opposite of Captain Sonar. In Captain Sonar, you have to communicate a lot without speaking. And in Magic Maze, you don't have to speak. So, but this kind of things, and of course, I like too much. Ticket to Ride, because it's a kind of it's a game to discover the game world for the people they don't like games. In the same category as River Dragons. River Dragons, Dragon Delta is a game where when you don't know the game world, it's a perfect game to attract the people in this world and to maybe to do things more complicated. So I like too much Picomino from by Reinhard Knizia, because it's typically the very easy game, but you need to be concentrate also to do the right choices. But you can play it where you want, and when we travel to a lot of countries, to Brazil also, every time with Florence we organize a tournament in every part, playing in the airport and the hotel. And the conclusion is in the south hemisphere. Florence win every time, and in the North part I am the winner. I don't know why. Maybe there is something with the Coriolis so forth, or I don't know.
Very nice. And you talk about your ideas, your innovative ideas. You have lots of ideas that are really different from everything we have. We have here the balancing eggs, or we have here puzzles. We have here something from Dr. Eureka or
Waka.
Dr. Microbe, then Waka. We have this Spinnerella with the spider. Is that there are all games, or Princess Jing with the mirrors and so on. Those are games with ideas, with concepts that we really don't see everywhere. Are really, let's say, crazy ideas, and very interesting and funny ideas. Where all those ideas come and how you implement them to a game.
No, but in France we have the same problem that in Brazil actually with the COVID, etc.
Yeah.
So, and in March and April, you will see why I speak about that to you. In March and April, we was at house. We don't have the authorization to go outside, during 1 month, etc. So I was in my new office in the Fraga Lab. And all my friends, they have sent messages to me to say, okay, Roberto, you have a chance, you have your new office, and you have a lot of time because you have to stay 1 month at house, and you will create a lot of things. But I have said to them, no, I'm sorry. The imagination is, even if you have the best office in the world, you cannot have ideas between four walls. My ideas, they come when I am traveling, speaking with people, sometimes playing also, and discovering things. When you have a lot of information which arrive in your brain, and when you are traveling, it's the same thing. When we was in Brazil also, we had a lot of ideas, so I need to write it, but you need to have influences of a lot of things. All the jobs I have done before are also influenced by my brain, and so for example, the dancing eggs game, the ideas come we was in what's the name? In a fair. No, not a fair. As Euro Disney, a park. As Disneyland. Yeah. In Spain, and there was a show with a magician which was showing to the people something with magic activities, and he has a game with eggs. He was taking eggs from his, from his house, like that, but real eggs, and he was giving the eggs to two young children. Of course, the children, they have a lot of eggs like that, and the eggs was falling down because the magician was discovering a lot of eggs, and the eggs was falling down, and the people was laughing because it was funny. And suddenly I have said to my wife, to Florence, it could be a good idea to do a game where you have to collect eggs and to keep it without falling down. It was just the beginning. It was seeing a show. You have a lot of information, and everything I see in every part, I have a kind of mechanism in my brain which is changing it in a game idea. We are waiting a plane in the airport. You look at the constructions and all the elements, and always it's always like that. So you are trying to think about what you could do with that, with this element, etc. And the mirror, the Princess Jing, the idea comes looking at a clip of Michael Jackson, which is Remember the Time. Do you remember the time? So, and the clip is with the black actor Will Smith, and he was a pharaoh in Egypt. And the queen was a black singer, I don't remember his name. and there was in the palace of the pharaoh in Egypt, and suddenly they have asked to a magician to do a show in front of the king on the queen, and the magician was Michael Jackson, and he just arrived, moving, dancing, and the queen suddenly, when she has seen the magician, suddenly fall in love with the magician, and his husband, the pharaoh, seen that, and he asked to the guards to capture the magician and to cut his head. And suddenly there is the guards are running after Michael to capture it, and there in the temple there was in the palace there was columns like that, and Michael was hidden behind the columns, and the guard was looking behind to see if there was looking, and he was changing from one column to another. And suddenly I had the idea to make a game with columns where you was hidden and you have to cross to one part to another part of the palace without being discovered by the guards. And I was thinking, but okay, it's funny, but I need an idea to give an information to the adversary to see how you could see the player which is in the opposite side. And before that, I have done games with mirrors, other games which are not published yet. So suddenly the idea of the mirror just arrive very easily, because I have a very good feeling about games. I'm not a mathematician of the game design. All the games I have done are by feeling. I think I have a good feeling. So I have had the mirrors, and it was an Egyptian theme at the beginning. The name was Akhenaton. And I had the idea. It was it was more than 18 years, because it was before 2000. It was maybe in 1996. Yes, and we have won prizes with the game, but it was impossible to publish it. We have shown the game a lot of times, but the editors was not. They have the decision was difficult because they said it's too many material equipment for 2 players. So, but you know, the publishers, when they don't want to take a game, or they don't see the possibilities with the game, they cannot take a decision, and they always give to you an answer, typically answer. So they have a lot of answers, and maybe they take it in the hat. Okay, it's not good for our range, or no, the equipment is too difficult to do. So okay. So, but I have shown it during a lot of years, and finally, more than 18 years after, we have signed it with Matago, and they had the idea to do the biombos, with a cardboard, which was less expensive to do columns, and but the best idea was to ask to Naya, the illustrator, to work for the game, because the artwork is totally incredible. So, but finally, so I am happy about the result now, because it's a very nice game. But after, it's difficult to sell a game which is more than 30 euros, only 2 players, etc. So I am very good to design games, but the other part is not my job. So you cannot control the production, you cannot control the sales, and I don't want to do it.
Sure.
But it's a pity. Sometimes you have very good games which are not so good, with not a good marketing, and at the opposite. So that's from where come the ideas. But the most important, the most funny connection with an idea was for a game which name is Dr. Panic.
Oh, the from Repos, the medicine game. I have it somewhere here.
So, Dr. Panic, each game has his story. So we could speak during a lot of hours. But Dr. Panic, the idea comes during at sea, when I was working as a Coast Guard officer in December 2007. So we was working. We were sailing at sea in the Channel Sea between England and France, and the sea was very rough, it was very cold, all the conditions to be very bad, etc. Like that. And we was running after a smuggler boat with drugs. And suddenly when we have reached the boat, you know, at sea you have a lot of equipment. You have the gun, you have the lamp, you have a bag with equipment, etc. So you are very heavy. And at the moment to jump on when we have joined the smuggler boat, we have jumped to the smuggler boat from the Coast Guard officer to the smuggler boat, and I have broken my leg.
Oh!
Yes, my feet was like that. So they have carried me to the hospital on the coast during 2 hours at sea. It was a very bad souvenir. And when I have arrived in the hospital, I just arrived on the operating block, and the anesthetist just come para dormir, and just before he do it, I had the idea to create a game about the operating block, a cooperative game. So I have asked to him, wait a minute, could you give to me a paper and a pen? I have to write the idea, because I was afraid to forget it during the operation. So he has given to me a paper and a pen, I have written the idea, and after they have slept me, and I was operated, and when I was awake on the bedroom, on the table there was the paper and the pen with the idea. And during the several months when I was at house to recover my health, I have worked on the development of the game, and the game was published by Roberto Fraga. So in every situation you could have an idea, even if it's a very bad situation. So in June, I had the last June, I had a pulmonary embolism. It was the second one, so it's a very bad moment also. So, but I was in the cardiology service in the hospital, and they give to you some injections, so it's okay. So the first idea I had when I go to the hospital is not to take my clothes, is to take papers with the idea of the games I am developing, to work on it at the hospital. But it was a very bad situation. I was very close to the end, but I have decided to do it, and I have a picture. I was in the bed, you know, with all the cables, the connections here on the other hand. So I was trying to draw something, and I cannot move. So I was thinking about a game where you have some cables and you cannot do what you want. You know. So the ideas are in every part of the world. You just have to open your eyes and to try to change it in game concepts. You know, many times I like to use three-dimensional elements to create a game from this element, etc. So you just to open your eyes. But all the people, they have not the same vision. I'm just like that.
Very nice. And you talk about some games that you like, but now among your creations, your own creations, do you have favorite ones? The games that you think are your masterpieces?
So I have told to you before, one of my favorites is the first one, Dragon Delta, because it's the first one. And it's one of the games I prefer to always explain to the public, because I like to see the face of the players when they are discovering the possibilities. And we have a giant version, which is 1 meter point 2 in tissue with big tokens and big wooden planks. So when you play with the giant one, it's fantastic. So, and I like very much this moment. And the other one is there are two ones. There is a Squad 7. Squad 7 is a game with a soundtrack, with cards, with a gun, with targets. It's a kind of Indiana Jones. The name of the prototype was Infraga Jones. So, and this one was also a great adventure to develop it, and we have organized a tournament with 10 tables at the same time, with the sound for all the players. So you could imagine 40 or 50 people shouting, running all around the tables, shooting with the guns. So it was something incredible. But unfortunately, the game has stopped because one thing is in the shops, they have some difficulties to explain the games which are not in their type of games they like to explain. When you have something which is different, so the public and the sailors they are not so good to explain it. It was the same thing for Dr. Panic also. And the last one is Captain Sonar, because of course I like the games where you are living a great experience, and this one is exactly the type of game I like, because when in 5 minutes you are the captain of a submarine and you have to coordinate all the team, and when I speak with the players, they have played maybe some days before, they explain to me the game as if there was in a movie. So we have to do that. We have placed a mine in the strait very close to the island, and suddenly we have a surface. So that creates lots of great souvenirs. And we have we have done a tournament in Rio de Janeiro when Conclave they have launched it. The name of our submarine was the Caipirinha, of course. And we have do it in Buenos Aires with friends. It's yes. And I will give to you a kind of new information about Captain Sonar if you want.
Oh, yes, please.
You know, in Captain Sonar there is the... at first we are working on 3 new games on the collection. There is Captain Sonar, which is from 14 to 99. But finally you can play from 7, because if you take the role of the second officer, which has just to cross in the mines, drones, it's very easy. It just has to follow the orders of the captain, so you could play at 7. But we have done also another version which is Sonar Family, which is a family version from 2 to 4 players, easier. And we are working on a Sonar Kids version, which is well, of course I cannot show it to you. Sonar Kids version for 2 to 4 players with from 5 years, and Sonar Duel version for 2 players. Yes, and the Sonar Blitz. Well, it's written Polaris, but it's a Sonar Blitz. It's a very speed version. You can play in 10 minutes and very immersive. Of course, it's a submarine game. But the last thing, the most important is, when you see the game, there is the radio operator, there is the captain, there is the second officer, and there is the engine officer.
Yes.
What's missing? Not the cook. There is one very, very important, which is very close to the captain. The driver.
Oh yes, okay, for sure. There is no one driving the boat.
Yes. So on the Matago, they are working on an app which will be free to play with the 5th crew member, which will be the driver. You could imagine there is the captain, there is the second officer. So here there is the driver with an iPad or a smartphone, and doing that. On the screen of the smartphone you have the submarine, which is moving with the water and with the compass north, east, west. And when the captain said, okay, head east, okay, head east. And now, sometimes when you play to Captain Sonar, you play too quickly. The captain could say, head north, head south, and the engine officer is crazy because he has a lot of damage. But now with the driver, it will be more organized. Of course, it will be always crazy because you will have more communication, because you need to communicate with the driver, captain, driver, etc. Head north, okay, north, and we'll do a test. If you are driving to the north, and the captain is asking to you, head east. You have to do it like that at right or at left to go faster.
East. I must go here to my right.
Right, of course, because there is only 90 degrees. But if you do a mistake, if you go at left, you will be obliged to do 270 degrees, and it will take time. And maybe during this moment, when you have started, you cannot come back. But the most important is you will be the corpus, but on each side of the submarine, we will have some energy areas which moves as in the video game. And with colors, red will be energy for the mines and torpedoes, green for the drones and sonar, and yellow for the silence. And maybe you will have positive energy and negative. And maybe you will see at your right, at the east, a red area which is moving with the inscription +2. And you are driving the submarine to the north, and you have to ask to the captain, at right, at the east, we have a +2 energy. We could go to the east. And the captain will see on the map if he could do it. It's okay, we can do it. Go to the east. Okay, east. Okay, +2 energy. Boom, and you add energy. And you could have also areas where you lose energy. So the driver has to ask to the captain, don't go to the west. If not, we will lose energy for the silence. Maybe it's possible. So that creates more communication again with the captain and the driver. And maybe we could have a system to surface also. And maybe we could have at random a kraken which attack your submarine. And you cannot move during 2 minutes, I don't know. And all the gauge are slowed down. So they are working on that. And I think it will be really great to have this new crew member.
Very nice, very nice.
And but the last year in Essen we have tested with Pegasus Spiele, which are the distributor in Germany of Captain Sonar. We have tested just for fun a cook, but it was a joke because the cook he has to cook some things because in the submarine you need energy, you need food.
Yeah, sure.
And if you go, I know in boats when you are eating it's very important. And the cook on the game need energy, and he asked to the captain, I need energy for the paella because if you want I cannot do it. The captain said, okay, but no, it's not the moment of the paella. The enemy is very close. I need it for the torpedo. But if the cook can realize a menu with the energy, when you do a menu, you cross something, and as the crew now is better because they had a very good menu, they will fulfill the energy with less energy. For example, if for the torpedo you need 4, now you need 3 because you had a very good menu. So you have some advantage to prepare the menu, but maybe the captain don't want it. So. But it was a crazy idea. That was not so perfect. I think the driver will be much better.
Much better than the cook.
Yes.
And you talk already about some new developments. Do you have another development that you are working at the moment? And what games you will present in the SPIEL.digital this year? Okay,
from the beginning of the year we have published already 2 games, but it was in March, so it's not. It was just this one from Drei Major Spiele.
The Kugelgeist is it is in the actually in the novelties for the Spiel.
It's the first SN for the game because the game was released in March. So there was this one, which is a children game by Drei Major Spiele, which is this one, as you can see.
Very nice.
It's a children game. It's just a game you have to move to the top of the tower. I don't know if you see it.
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
And you have a token. You have to move to the top of the tower. But you have 2 ways on each side. You have a long way, but without danger. on a short way, but with danger. Because if you choose the short way, sometimes you have some bullets which fall down, and you can fall down on the beginning. So it's a risky game. You have to choose the easy way, but longer, or the risky way. And here there is a special square where you have to, when you arrive on this square, you go from the easy way to the risky way. So etc. There is a system with the dice, and every time sometimes you have to turn the top. So, and you have some bullets which fall down from 1 to 3, and the tokens are falling down. So it's a very funny game, and it was difficult also to do it with the publisher because it was a lot of equipment, three-dimensional equipment, etc. So, and the other game which was published in March, but we will just quickly, was Decalco, which is a drawing game. You have a picture and you have a transparent, and you have to
draw them.
You have to do it, but you have to do it very quickly, because each player take a different picture at secret, and he places transparent on it, and after you start and you have to draw. But you don't have to draw all, because the first player who finishes to draw take the first card points, which is 4 if you have 4 players. The second one will take 3, the third one 2, and the last one 1. If you draw something quickly, you have much chance to win 4. But so you need to draw very basic lines, the more evident lines. If you do it very quietly, you will never win.
Yeah.
So you have to choose for a picture. Maybe you are drawing a gorilla. You have to do the most evident lines, which will be sufficient to guess the picture. And after that, when all the players they have do the draw, it's hidden, of course. They place a white paper in front of the picture, and you see just the thing you have drawn. And suddenly it's an incredible surprise, because you discover it will be impossible to guess what is it. And you show, starting from the first one, you show what you have drawn to the other ones, and if the other player win, he win 2 points and you 4, because you have taken it at first, etc., etc. And it's a very basic idea, but very funny. And this one, it's very exotic because it's a Greek version. So, but this one was already released before. In SN we have 2 games. There is one with Amigo, which is Magnifics. I will show to you. It's a game using Macformers. Macformers are this kind of pieces, magnetic, where you can build a lot of things. It's a toy. They sell a lot of things like that, with triangular, rectangular, to do figures, etc. And each player has 5, and you have objective cards, which are here. You draw one, and for example, we show you one. You have to do that, the first one. But you have 5 magnets, but here you have only 3 colors. So where they are the other ones?
Beneath.
Yes, they are hidden. You need to use every time all the pieces. So you need to hide pieces. And here in this picture, you have some pieces which are horizontally, and the other one vertically. So for example, I will do it very quickly. Okay, jaune, bleu, orange. Tac, I do it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of cards, and with different situations. With, for example, in this one, they are all vertical. You see? Etc., etc. So, and that's all. It's a very speed game, because you have to assemble it very, very quickly. And sometimes the magnets, they connect not as you want. So that's an Amigo game. And this game has a story also, because the publisher of the toy, which name is Macformers. Amigos, they have written on the box. Macformers, because it's a deal with the owner of the brand. And as it's a toy, I have in France there is a company which name is Cocktail Games. They do very small games. They do Imagine, Anabi, etc. And the boss is a friend. And during 1 year, he was distributor of Mac formers in France. And at the beginning, he was in Seoul to speak with the boss, to have a kind of presentation of the activities of the company, to be very efficient in France selling the product. And he has asked to the boss, which name was is Mr. Park, a Korean guy. It would be fun to have a game using this equipment. I have a friend in France which is game designer, it was me, which is able to design a game for you. And but Mr. Park was totally very far from the game industry, so he has said, okay, maybe, I don't know. So my friend Mathieu has asked to me to design a game. I have do it, and after that I have show it at Nuremberg directly to the Korean guy. I remember I had a meeting with all the staff, the distributors of a lot of countries, and I have showed the game to him. All the distributors are very happy, but the boss totally he don't know at all the game industry. He's working only on the toy industry, and so no interest. So I have showed the game to Asmodee, and they have decided they was interested, and they have sent a guy in at Seoul to discuss with the boss. Nothing, no deal. So after that, I have shown the game to Amigo. They was interested, and they have sent the German guy at Seoul to discuss with the boss. Deal. I don't know if the Germans are better in business, but finally it was Amigo. So this one is very new, just for SN. Magnifics.
Very nice. And what is this game at your side?
Yes, it's the last one, which is shown at. I will show to you. So, you know the publisher, which name is Goliath.
Yeah.
Goliath is a giant publisher, which has increased, like Asmodee, buying a lot of companies all around the world. And now they sell games and toys in every part of the world. And I know from many years the guy which developed the games at Goliath. We had a game published by Goliath many years before, which name was Time No Time, a party game. I had the idea in the plane to the New York Toy Fair. I have asked to my wife, I have to take some cards and some markers. I have to do something in the plane. It was a kind of joke. I would want to create a game in the plane to show it at the New York Toy Fair and to sign it. It was totally stupid, but it was a joke. So in the plane, I had the idea of the game. I have do it in the plane. I have show it at Goliath at the New York Toy Fair, and we have signed it. It was Time No Time. So the game has quite success during some years, and after they have stopped it. And Goliath is more a toy on game, but party games producer. And they had the idea 2 years before to develop a range of more strategy games to try to arrive on the classic shops, not only on the mass market shops.
Okay.
To try to do something different, to attract a different public. So this game, which name was before Krakatoa, which is the name of an Indonesian volcano, I have do it in '92. So before Akhenaton Princess.
Yeah.
So before it was just a game where you have to destroy the adversaries, launching some things, because there is the volcano is a catapult. You can send some elements. So we have signed it with Goliath. And the game is about an island in the Pacific, which is a paradisiac island, but there is a volcano in activity. And every year, at the same time, the volcano will send gems And each the chief of the very close Iceland will send the best 5 warriors of each tribe to try to collect a maximum of gems. So you can play from 2 to 4. Each player has 5 tribe rounds. There is 4 colors, and at the beginning you have to place all around the board on the beach. And as you can see, there are several levels in the game. Because for me, when I design a game with a natural idea, the origin is the volcano. So you know Filafilo, the spider going down in the game, it needs to go like that. The volcano for me, it needs to be in 3-dimensional board with a volcano catapult. Of course, the volcano has to send something. I cannot imagine a game where you have to think about, I don't know, something very difficult. It needs to be original and fun. So the volcano is a catapult. So during the game, you have to collect a lot of gems, and the game stops when one of the players loses his last round. At this moment, you win the gems of the eliminated player, and you count all the points on the player who has more win the game. But how you can do that? You have 5 dice, like that, and you have to throw it when your turn arrives. And at each time you can keep the results you want and throw the other ones. But when you fall on a Tortuga, you put it aside. You cannot throw it again.
Okay.
Another turtle. Lava. I don't like this one. Okay. And when you are happy with the result, you do it. And the different type of results are, the first one is lava. As you can see. So now I have 3 lava results. I have to take 3 lava tokens and to place from the volcano going down. Because the lava always
The lava is flowing down.
Yes, but you go always straight ahead. You cannot do that. But after the next turn, another player can start from there, or do another one as you want. Of course, if a player is just joined by the lava,
he's dead.
Out from the game. The lava is used to create areas, because when you will have, for example, in that case, okay, we'll do that. The next player do that. Oh, this one is here. Oops. And there is another player will do after several turns of games. He do that, and now in the game there is one small area here and another one bigger here. And the objective is to send, I will show to you, gems in this area. Because at the end of the game, all the tokens you have, they will count points for all the gems. If you have a lot of gems, you will count for each one. If you have 2 blue tokens, for example, like that, you will count for each one. So the objective is to create areas, to eliminate the adversaries, to stay alone there with the gems. But it's not so easy, of course.
For sure.
You know? So this is the lava to create this kind of thing like that. You can have also eruption results, which is a small volcano. Yeah. If you have 1, you do 1 eruption. If you have 2, 3. For example, if I have 3, I have to take in the bag 3 gems, which are
triangle,
like that. And the gems, they have a value. There are 4 colors: the green 1 point, the red 2 points, the blue 3, and the white 5 points. So you have to place it in the volcano, and you turn the volcano in the direction you want to eat or to send the gem. But of course, the volcano is not so perfect. You know? I don't know an eruption. You cannot know in which direction there will have an eruption. Maybe sometimes you want to eat the adversary, but you will eat your own token. So I would want, I am the blue one. I would want to eat the 3 ones and to have a gem in this area. So I will do it very, very slowly because it's very efficient. Oh, I have touched my own token.
You are dead.
That's so good. But the gems stay here, so I will do another one. Okay. And the other one. Okay. So now there are points on this area, and after the other players they can create a new area and send gems, etc. And after, when I have this kind of result, which is a small Indian which is moving, you can move. If I have one, I can move from one square. If I reach a gem, I can take it. Some of the players, they like to collect the gems because they keep it for them. But be careful, because when you have a lot of gems, you will be the target of the other ones. They will want to kill you because they will win all your gems. Sometimes it's better to stay on the area where you have a lot of gems, but not to collect all the gems. Because if you have, for example, 10 points, the player will kill you, will win all your points, and you will have a lot of chance to win. So if you have two dice moving like that, you can move one token from 2 or one token from 1, and you can divide the points, etc. And the last thing is the statue. It will be difficult to see because it's yellow.
Yeah, but I can see.
Okay, it's a statue. Here there is an archipelago with 4 statues. You take one and you can put it in front of your token in the way to protect it from the eruptions and also from the lava. The lava cannot pass. Yeah. But if you hit the statue with a gem, you take out and you play there. And with the dice result also, you can place a statue from the Iceland to here, or take a statue and put it again in the Iceland. You cannot place a statue and replace where you want because it's too hard. You always need to pass by the Iceland. And at the end, there is the Tortugas. So, for example, here I have sent too many times the dice because I was not so happy. So now I have to do 2 things, but I have 3 Tortugas. Here you can see there is a turtle. I will move 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. So, and the turtle will do 1 turn. When the turtle has made 2 turns, the Iceland will explode and nobody win the game.
Oh!
Yes. So the players, they have to throw the dice. They can do as they want, but not so much, because if you do it too much, you will finish the game. So that's happened sometimes also. And the last thing is, you can see if, for example, there is a blue player which is here, and the blue player would want to reach this area because there is a lot of gems.
Okay.
But he cannot pass. He cannot pass the lava.
The lava, yeah.
So, but if he has a move result, he can move on the turtle, and after that, when the turtle will move like that, if he is at his turn, he can move and arrive here.
From the turtle out.
Yes, he used the turtle like that.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes. So it's on the game stops when one of the players loses his last pound. At this moment, of course, this one is eliminated, and his gems are won by the player which has eaten it. It's not eaten, which has hit. They are not cannibals. Okay, and we count the points. And the points are the gems which are in the area, and you count for each token. So if you have a lot of tokens in the array, you will multiply by the quantity of tokens. You count the tokens you have kept in front of you, and also the level. If you are on the level 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5, 6. So at the end of the game, when you think it will be the end, it's good to change the level. But of course, the more close you are from the volcano,
the more dangerous.
Yes. And finally, it's a kind of not cooperative, but the alliances, they are always changing, because maybe you are winning because you have a lot of points in the area where you are, and we know if you eliminate the last one, you will win. So now the objective is to eliminate some tokens from you in the way to decrease your points. But after, it will be maybe this one, so we will be all together fighting him, etc. And it's a kind of it's in the same category of river dragons, when you can do some, some, I don't know the name in English, some trampas. Trampa is It's in Spanish.
Yeah, but
So-
I know what you mean. I really know what you mean.
It's a family game. It's not a game for the people who like to control everything, because you can have a lot of surprise. As in River Dragons, it's difficult to control, but you have a lot of, until the end of the game, you don't know who will win. So it's a game of surprise and very funny, with the volcano, which is very nice. And so that's Carcata. This one.
Carcata, very nice, very nice.
I don't have the sample here, but you know, in France there is a company which name is Wizama, and they are doing a kind of mix of video platform with board game. They want to develop a mix of the video platform with a classic board game, with elements in volume also, which are detected by the screen. So, and they will launch a Kickstarter in November. And I have do a game for them, a totally original game. Just 1 hour before, there was here to show me the new design of the game, because they have a very good illustrator, and to speak about the Kickstarter, etc., all the developments. And it's something incredible for me, because you know I like the originality, and suddenly the game I have developed with them, the name is a Crystal Bay. It's a kind of game where you have to collect diamonds on the sea, but you cannot see in the bottom of the sea. You cannot see nothing because it's very dark. But in the center of the game, there is a lighthouse, which is in volume like that. And when you put it, there is a kind of light beam which discovers the bottom of the sea. And you have squares, and you have, when the light beam passes on the squares, you have to memorize the position of the diamonds, of the rocks, etc. In the way to move on not on the rocks, of course, but on the diamonds places, and to collect the diamonds. And you have a lot of events. But when you ask to the guys which are developers, I would want to have a tsunami to change totally the board. It's possible, of course. You just have to program. I would want to have a volcano, to have an eruption. I want to have a kraken. A lot of, you know what's happened. The board is alive. You have a lot of events. You have the music, the sound. It's a really good mix of board game and video platform. You have a very small ships, figurines, they have a base which is detected by the board when you place it. The lighthouse it's the same thing. You have a giant golems, which are kind of monsters. You can use it also. Figurines, you have a mix of figurines, of cards. The cards, you can detect them also when you put it on the board. Dice also. And it's a really new experience of game. And they will launch the Kickstarter in November. Of course, it's expensive because it's a platform which is like that. And they will sell the platform, which name is the Square One. They will sell it with 10 games. They will sell it $499. You know, it's money, but it's the beginning, because there is a lot of possibilities to do. We have a lot of games, things I cannot do with a classic board game. Suddenly, you can do it. And for me, I like that because it's a kind of a new door. You are opening a new door and discovering a lot of possibilities. But I have told to them, I want to work with you, but I want to do things not horizontal. If not, it will be like a video game. As you can detect the figurines, you could do a lot of three-dimensional elements in the way to on the platform. You can place a board with holes, and you see only the effect on the holes. In the way to hide the platform, to just have the moves. So there is an incredible quantity of possibilities. My game is a Crystal Bay, but we have shown it first time at Cannes in February. And we have a game illustrator which has worked for Libellude and Ankama, a very good guy. And the result of the screen, the pictures moving, the illustration and the sound and the gameplay is amazing.
Bom, gente, eu espero que vocês tenham gostado da entrevista. Se vocês gostaram, não deixe de curtir ela, tá bom? E também não deixe de se inscrever no canal. Aí vocês não perdem os vídeos de entrevistas, de regras, curiosidades e variantes que a gente tem sempre postado por aqui. Também não deixem de dar uma olhada nas outras formas de comunicação que a gente tem, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook e também nossa página na internet, romirplayhouse.com. Um grande abraço e até a próxima!